Adrienne Keel. I'm 29 years old and I identify as lesbian.
I'm Catherine. I'm 14 years old and I am pansexual. Being pansexual means you're sexually attracted to people regardless their gender or sexuality.
So my name's Sabrina and I'm a cis woman and I'm 14. I identify as pansexual.
When I'm not working, I like to go to concerts, I like to go to comedy shows. My partner has a toddler, so we do a lot of family fun stuff, go to the park, go to museums, things like that.
My hobbies would be like reading, drawing, yeah.
The LGBTQ Youth Space essentially is a drop-in center. It's safe and confidential, open for folks ages 13 to 25 who identify somewhere within the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, or ally communities. And essentially we want to provide a safe space for folks to come and hang out of all gender identities, all sexual orientations. And so we have workshops throughout the week, support groups, we take folks on a lot of fun field trips. We try to build on leadership skills here, do a lot of cohesive activities. And then there's fun amenities like video games and computers with internet access, a pool table, board games, free food, free clothes. And then in addition to the drop-in center, we offer free counseling services here. So if someone is maybe questioning their gender identity or questioning their sexual orientation or needing some support around their identity, they can see a counselor here free of charge. We offer free clothes for a couple different reasons. Some of our folks might not have access to new clothes, just in general. Some folks might not have clothes that align with their gender identity, so they might be able to find free clothes here that align more with their gender expression, their gender identity, and they might not have access to those outside of our space. My role here at the Youth Space, I'm an outreach coordinator, so essentially what that means is I'm a liaison between our program and the community, and that translates into a number of different things. I run our Speakers Bureau, so this is a group for young people who really want to use their story, their journey, to educate and raise awareness in the community about LGBTQ identity. So they talk about how they identify, and then we offer a platform for folks to ask them questions. So that's one program that I run. I also try to build relationships with all the local schools so students know who we are, what we offer, how we can help them, how we can be a resource to them.
I was in about 8th grade when I actually realized that, I wasn't completely straight.
I think I've always known that I've been attracted exclusively to women since a very young age, and I don't think that I had a word for it until maybe I was a little bit older, junior high, high school, and that's around that time is when I came out to myself.
I think it was like back in 6th grade-ish. I was like questioning about myself, and then I was just, by 8th grade, I'm just like, whoa, okay, I am not straight.
Yes, I've come out to most of my friends and parents.
I have come out to my siblings and my friends, but not really my parents.
The reason why I haven't come out to my parents yet is because it's just me and my mom, and it's just I'm scared of her reaction, even though I have a good idea what her reaction would be, but yeah, because I'm just scared.
The environment that I grew up in wasn't religious at all, not super conservative or anything like that. It's just there wasn't a lot of talking going on, so there wasn't a lot of conversation about really anything. So like being a lesbian is not the only part of my identity, but we didn't really talk about kind of deeper issues. A lot of our conversations were very superficial growing up, so I didn't have a good sense of how is my mom going to react to this, because we just never broached the subject.
I mean, I grew up in a really open environment. My parents made it very clear since I was little that it would be okay if I were gay or if I was just different in that way.
I would say my struggles around coming out were, what is my family going to think? At the time I wasn't living in San Jose, I was living in the Central Valley, so the community was not quite as progressive, so there was maybe a little concern around safety, how visible I could be, how people were going to receive me. And those were probably my biggest fears or concerns about coming out to other folks.
I don't think I've ever really been discriminated against because of my sexuality, but sometimes it's a little different because, like, sometimes it'll be like, oh, what boy do you like, you know? And I'm like, well, you know, it's not always a boy, or, you know, your future husband. I'm like, well, yeah, I could also be a future wife.
My best coming out experience, or the one that comes to me first, my grandfather, who's in his early 70s, and obviously grew up in a very different time than I did, and grew up in a more rural community in the Midwest, told me that as long as you're happy, I'm happy. And for me, that was awesome because he's coming from a completely different place and a much more conservative upbringing in a much more conservative part of the country. So his response was awesome.
Well, now that same-sex marriage is legalized, I think maybe I know there's still some laws in some states where, like, you can get kicked out because of your sexuality or gender expression or something. So I think passing a law where there's no discrimination, people can't get kicked out of places just because their sexuality isn't straight, you know. Well, to non-supporters, I guess I would say that you know, we're all people, and it's really that, I mean, we should all be treated the same.
So changing folks' opinions is no small task. Being rigid and closed off makes life so limiting, right? You can miss out on a potentially awesome friendship with someone or potentially awesome interaction with someone if you're gonna dismiss them because of how they identify.
In the end of the day, we're all human, and I think we should all be treated nicely, even though you're not like an ally. You know, be nice to a person, just be, you know, a kind human being.
It's really important and human and decent to be kind to people, regardless of how much they may differ from you. And I think that if we're all just like a little bit kinder, as cliche as that may sound, if we're all just a little bit kinder and more open, I think this world can be a much better place.
You're not alone. As an example, I haven't really come out to my parents. But just try to find some people who will support you, and you know, just know that no matter what happens, at least you are being yourself. If you're like struggling with identifying yourself, you don't have to do it like now. You know, you have time to. You don't have to put a label on yourself. You know, you can just love whoever you want to love.
You don't feel forced to come out, and I guess just you can come out whenever you feel ready and you feel safe to do so.
This is just a part of me. This isn't all I am, and that I am also human, just like you and like everybody else.
It's okay, you know, to be. It's not wrong. It's not bad or anything, and just you don't have to find a label right away. You can take as much time as you need. I know I took like about a year before I was finally like sure and comfortable, and yeah, it's gonna be okay.
I'm Maya.
I'm Becca.
I'm Mr. Abarca.
I'm Xavier.
I'm Allison.
I'm Vin.
I'm lesbian.
I'm queer.
I'm pansexual.
I'm an ally.
I'm bisexual.
I'm asexual.
I'm agender.
I'm a gay male.
And I'm a roller derby skater.
I am an inspiring engineer.
I'm a poetry reading state champion.
I'm a teacher.
And more.
And more.
And more.
And more.